This presentation was sponsored by Boston Japanese Tutors and Global EDU.
Yay! Okay, so my name is Kylie, and I'll be talking to you today about extracurricular activities and college applications, specifically American college applications. So a little bit about me. I am a third-year MIT undergrad student. In the future, I want to go to grad school to pursue an astrophysics PhD. So my interests are obviously astronomy and astrophysics, teaching and education. I also like some programming. There's a lot of programming in science nowadays. And since I'm half Japanese, I also like Japanese language and culture, and learning about my Japanese side. Okay, so first we'll talk a little bit about high school. So high school is the best time to prepare for college. Why? So you can do these three things here, my 3 bullet points. You can do lots of extracurricular activities that you enjoy. You can also take challenging classes if they're available to you. And you can also, most importantly, learn about your interests and find your passion. So these are the 3 most important things for you to do to prepare for American college. So during high school, summer vacation is pretty important because it provides you a lot of free time during your time in high school. So how did I spend my summer vacations? So my first year, I did an astronomy summer camp in the middle of the Oregon desert. There was no one there. We looked at lots of pretty constellations, stars in the sky, through telescopes, and learned about different things. And my second year, I did a pre-college program at UMass Amherst, which is a college. I did a program there on astronomy, and I also did some research at a local observatory. My third year, I participated in the Research Science Institute, or RSI. It was at MIT, and this was a research program. So I was matched with a mentor in the area, and I did some research together with that mentor. So my mentor was at Harvard, but other people had mentors all over the Boston area. And my fourth year, I just worked a little bit and continued research from that program. So now we're going to ask, how did my summers help prepare me for college? So how did these things help me into getting into American universities? So the first one helped in finding my passion, which, if you remember, was the most important thing about spending your time in high school. So how did it help me find my passion? Well, I looked at a lot of stars at this summer camp, and I learned a lot about astronomy. And so I realized that I wanted to study astronomy as my life goal. That's what I wanted to do in life. So I found my passion in the first summer. How about the second one? So the second one, I attended this pre-college program, and this program helped me learn about my passion. So during this program, we learned how to operate telescopes and use them with our hands, and we did some hands-on experiments, and we did some problems in astronomy, so lots of details about um, astronomy, my passion. I learned about the details. And so I applied those details in my own research. So I learned about my passion and then I applied it. And then you can see this arrow I put there. So once I did my research and I applied my passion, I submitted that research to this competition called ISEF, which stands for the International Science and Engineering Fair. So it's a science fair, which is a kind of competition. And um, I was able to take my passion and do something with it. So the resulting payoff was RSI. And why was it a payoff? Well, RSI is a prestigious summer program, which means it's very well known and very difficult to get into. So you can see this kind of progression here, where first I find my passion, then I learn about it, and then I apply it, and then I use that application to help me in this way to do these things that will eventually get me into the college. So the last one is just a free summer before college, because in America, you apply to colleges during your fourth year, your senior year, between the third and fourth summer. And so during your fourth summer, you will already know which college you're in. So you can just do whatever you'd like. And I chose to work to get some money, and I also chose to continue research because, well, research is my passion. So I really like doing that, and it would help me in the future. Okay, so not only during the summer can you do things. So extracurricular activities can happen during the school year as well. So what other activities did I do? Well, I also did a lot of volunteering at the observatory. I really like to help out there, and sometimes there would be things like star parties where people from the public would come to the observatory, and I would get to talk to them and share my love for the stars with them, which I really like to do. I also founded Japanese club at my high school, which I did because I wanted to share my Japanese heritage with them. I also was the president of my science club at my high school, um, which was a good show of leadership, which we will talk about in a second. And I also participated in my high school's Science Bowl team. Science Bowl is a kind of competition, kind of game show kind of thing, where your high school has a team, there's other teams from other high schools, and you compete against each other. Somebody will give questions, in this case, science questions, and the team who answers it first gets points. So it's all about answering questions really fast. So I enjoyed that a lot. And I also wrote a novel, a book. So I really, really liked writing in high school. So I did a lot of that, and I eventually published it as an ebook online. All right, so how can pre college programs, or in general, these activities, help your college applications? So, first, we need to understand, what do American college applications look for? So, let's learn about that. So, firstly, they look for good personal qualities. So, things like leadership, like I said before, or perseverance, determination, ambition, problem solving, curiosity, compassion, enthusiasm, passion. So, I have a list of them here. Lots and lots of different qualities um, that you could show. And they also look for if you are a proactive person. So being proactive. So what does being proactive mean? It means taking advantage of opportunities if you have them, or if you don't have any opportunities, making some opportunities for yourself. Okay, so alongside that, they also look for accomplishments, awards, and experiences that can show that you will have an impact on your community or on society as a whole. So, how do you tell if you can have an impact on your community? So, I have some questions here you can ask. So, have you won any competitions? So I talked about the whole ISEF competition that I participated in. So that could be an example. Have you made anything significant? So things like books or artwork, poetry, or maybe even engineering related building projects. Like you could use a 3D printer to make something cool or helpful, these kinds of things. Um, do you have a lot of work or unique volunteer experience? So, volunteering is really important because it shows that you are putting your own time into something that you really care about, that you really are passionate about. So, for me, I volunteered at the observatory because I'm really passionate about astronomy. Um, Other ways you could show your passion is through raising a lot of money for a cause you really believe in, or creating an organization or company based on an interest. So there's kind of a pattern here that you can see of like everything relating to an interest or a passion that you have. So that's why that is the most important thing for you to do in high school. If you figure that out first, you can do all of these things in this list, or figure them out very easily if you first know what you are very passionate about. So that's why I emphasized that early. Okay, so how do extracurricular activities come into play? So some EC activities or summer pre-college programs, they can lead you to competitions or awards or experiences, all those things that we previously talked about, that the applications want. So those things can help you with those. Um, and you can also use your activities to show your impact on your community and society. Um, I'll give an example in a little bit. Um, and you can also use those activities to show your good personality traits. Remember the list that I gave? There's a list of personality traits. You can use the activities to tell stories that show those good personality traits on the essays that the applications have. So a lot of American colleges have essays that you need to write, and there will often be questions like, what name a problem you had to go through and how did you solve it. Yeah, there will be opportunities for you to talk about those personality traits through the essays. So if you have stories to tell, then these essays become very easy for you to write. So here's an example of that. So here is an experience that I had. So I grew up in a small town called Twin Falls, Idaho. It's in the middle of nowhere. I was frustrated that there were very few opportunities for astronomy research. I took a class on astronomy in high school, which inspired me to conduct my own astronomy research. I then went to the local observatory and asked the observatory coordinator if it was possible to do research using the telescope there. He said yes, and he trained me to use the telescope. So, what good personal qualities does this experience show? So, here are some of the ones that I thought. So, the first, most obvious one is being proactive. So, how does it show this? Well, there was no opportunity for me to do research in my town. So I was proactive and created an opportunity when there was none. The second, determination. So it shows determination because instead of just giving up when when I found out there was no opportunity, I pushed through and I solved the problem, which is the third one here, problem solving. So there was this problem of no research in my hometown. So I solved it by creating my own. And the fourth one, ambition. Um, I did this to make myself better somehow, right? I wanted to do research to improve myself and my passion. So that's what ambition is, etc. There are lots of different qualities we could talk about, but those are the main ones. So, how does this experience show my impact on my community? So, there was little to no research done using this telescope in the past, and so I started a precedent for it there. What that means is that if in the future somebody wanted to do research, I made it easier for them to do so. So I wrote up a little paper that describes how to use the telescope to do research in the way that I did it. So if somebody wanted to do it like I did, they can do it easier because I started this precedent for it. So that was the effect I had on my community through this experience. So, in conclusion, there are three main points here. So, the first is that through pre college programs or extracurricular activities, you look for experiences that will help you tell stories which will show your personal qualities. And also try to find ways to leave a lasting impact on your community or on society. And in general, these experiences could be at your high school through clubs or classes, or they could be outside at these pre college programs, or any extracurricular activities that you could enjoy. So, um, you should find things that you really do enjoy and are passionate about, and then try and follow these guidelines here. All right. Thank you for listening, and I'll open it for questions.
Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave any questions in the comments.